Thomas and the Firework Display. It was the 4th of July on the island of Sodor, and all the engines looked forward to Harvest Festival time. But most of all, they looked forward to Sir Topham Hatt's Harvest Firework Display. Sir Topham Hatt came to see Thomas and Percy at Farquhar Sheds. "Percy, you are to collect the fireworks from the depot." Percy was overjoyed. Thomas wasn't happy at all. "But I wanted to collect the fireworks," he pouted. "I'm sorry, Thomas," Percy said to his best friend, "but Sir Topham had already chose me because I'm a cheerful engine and twice as grand." And he chuffed away. Percy steamed proudly across the countryside. "Bright and best, bright and best," he hummed happily to himself. He was having a wonderful time. Thomas was still disappointed when he arrived at the shunting yards. "I wish I could pull the firework display," he sighed, and he biffed the troublesome trucks crossly around the yard. When Percy arrived at the depot, he was very excited. The freight cars were all ready for him, filled safely to the top with fireworks. Percy was coupled up with the precious cargo, and he steamed away. Thomas shunted the last truck crossly into place. The troublesome trucks were glad that the job was done. Oh! Percy happily steamed along the branch line. He was thinking about the fireworks. He was imagining all the sparkles flashing and the shooting stars when suddenly there was a loud noise. Poor Percy had broken down and was stranded on the branch line. "I will have to go get Thomas for help," said his driver. Just then, Bertie the bus arrived. "Please, take me to Titmouth Station. It's an emergency." "Don't worry, Percy," hooted Bertie. "Thomas is always happy to help when everybody's in trouble." And he roared away to Titmouth. Daisy was already there, letting off her passengers when Thomas puffed in. Children and their parents from all over the island had come to see the fireworks. Seeing the children cheered Thomas up. But when Bertie arrived, Percy's concerned driver told Sir Topham Hatt what had happened. Sir Topham Hatt spoke to Thomas. "You must collect him, Thomas, and bring him back here for the fireworks display, or it will be cancelled." "Oh no!" cried Thomas. "So I've heard. Then everyone will be so sad." And he set off to collect Percy. Thomas puffed across the countryside. Even with his headlamp on, Thomas knew he had to be very careful. Thomas found Percy broken down on the track. "Percy," he puffed, "I heard that you're broken down." "Please, Thomas," wailed Percy, "take me back to Titmouth in time for the firework display. I don't want the children to be disappointed." "Don't worry, Percy," soothed Thomas. We'll get there in time, and the children will be very happy." Thomas switched to Percy's line and was coupled up. "Beep, beep. Are you ready, Percy?" whistled Thomas. "Yes, I am," replied Percy. Then they set off together. When the tracks were straightening clear, Percy called out, "Go faster, Thomas!" And Thomas did. They were soon working happily together and making good time. Meanwhile, back at Titmouth, Sir Topham had checked his watch. There was still no sign of Thomas or Percy. "I'm afraid it's very late," he thought. So that means it's almost the children's bedtime. Even Daisy was worried. "Sorry to say, folks," said Sir Topham Hatt, "but I'll have to cancel the display." So the disappointed passengers, even the children, started to board Daisy. Soon at last, Thomas and Percy could see the signal lights. The signal had turned red. The two little engines stopped. "Why's the signal red?" puzzled Percy. "Maybe the passenger train is coming through," puffed Thomas. "Daisy must be taking the children back," cried Percy. He and Thomas were very upset. "We're here!" they cried, and sounded their whistles as loudly as they could, but no one could hear them. The children were all on board. Daisy was ready to depart. Then Thomas had a bright idea. "Send up a rocket," he told his driver. So his driver carefully lit a rocket. He stood well back as it whooshed into the sky. The rocket burst into stars. "A sparkling dragon!" cried Sir Topham Hatt. "It must be Thomas and Percy." "Stop, Daisy," said her driver. "The firework display is back on," called Sir Topham Hatt. At last, the signal turned to green, and Thomas and Percy were soon on their way. Percy and Thomas were soon at the station. The children and their parents cheered. "Good work, Thomas!" cried Percy happily. "You too, Percy," agreed Thomas. "Good work, both of you!" boomed Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas and Percy smiled, and Percy thanked Bertie. "Thank Thomas," said Bertie. "He's the best engine on the line." Thomas beamed from buffer to buffer. That night, Thomas and Percy returned to their sheds and watched the fireworks together. "I think we're both useful engines," said Percy proudly. "But we are most useful when we work together," puffed Thomas. "Happy 4th of July, Percy." "Happy 4th of July to you too, Thomas," peeped Percy happily. The next morning, Percy was sent to the works for repairs, while Thomas took over his job to pull the mail and deliver some letters and parcels. Although he was sorry that his best friend had broken down, he knew he'd be back when he was mended. No engine is even more useful than the #1 engine, Thomas.